All right. So some of these questions kind of go hand in hand. What are your business goals and objectives?
My goal is to make a difference in the insulin resistance epidemic. 1.4 million people die a year from insulin resistance. It's cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. And whenever I see this F cancer, I want to write on there, lower your carbohydrates. Okay. 90% of our disease is from your body's reaction to sugar and carbohydrates. It doesn't know any difference between brown rice and sugar. And my goal is to truly make a difference and provide health and fitness so people can live a long, happy life, because health is the number one thing that trumps everything. If you're not healthy, all the houses, money, relationships of the world don't matter. That is your number one highest resource. And so my goal is to help people see the light on health and fitness. 3 years ago, I gained a bunch of weight. For the first time in my life, I had the dad bod experience, for lack of a better word. And anybody who says that dad bod's okay and rationalize it is not telling the truth, because I know how I felt. I'm a unique personality from the standpoint is I'm very driven and very focused and a high level of discipline, but I'm compassionate, empathetic. And kind of the best thing for me was to gain that weight and see the perspective. Because when I was heavy, I walked in a room, I immediately felt inferior, and it showed up everywhere in my life and my confidence. It showed up with women, it showed up in my business, it showed up everywhere. And once I got through the eye of the needle and got my health and conditioning back, the overall well-being of my entire life was substantially better. And that's what I want to add to people.
Okay, makes sense. Do you have a target audience for your goals and like how you want to reach them, and how are you going to cater to your audience?
I think being receptive and humble is the best way. That, to me, every question is a good question. And it's about making people feel comfortable, but challenging their BS. BS is their belief systems. And quite frankly, most belief systems are layered with BS, because the way people were raised, they told you can't do this, you can't spill the milk, you don't do this. So people live in a high state of fear of failure. And so my thing is making a difference in changing the perspective and giving people nuggets and a place to start, because there's so much information out there right now. It's overwhelming. Where do I start? What kind of foods do I eat? So I'm going to take 40 years. Okay, my first bodybuilding show was 41 years ago. I won Mr. Teenage San Jose, and I've studied it from then, and it's not difficult. And it really is a lot easier than we think. But health and fitness is elusive and it's fragile. So to be in top condition, the best we can be in, it's hard to get there. But once you get there, you just have to respect it, because it can go away very easily. So my target audience is really anyone, I would say, from college age on up, because once you get into college, you got the college 15 happening, right? You start the reality of that, and then it starts playing in our head a little bit right then and there, you know. And being confident and humble is the most amazing gift in the world, because I've been on both sides of it. And I have tremendous flaws, but one of my gifts is I'm driven and I'm confident, and it makes a big difference. And I want to pass that on pretty much to everybody.
All right. Why would you say a consumer should turn to you for advice as opposed to like an online diet or an online routine that they should follow?
That's a good question. I lead by example. Let me use a different analogy, metaphor. I've sailed close to 200,000 miles, equivalent to 8 times around the world. Okay. With all due respect, I don't listen to a lot of people with a ski boat on how to sail around the world. Okay. In health and conditioning, I lead by example. I'm 59 years old. I have 8% body fat. I'm 240 pounds. My A1C is 5.1. My blood pressure is 115/73. I know my numbers, and I coach people all about the numbers. So I'm a walking testimonial It's do what I do, you know, and I think it's very easy to lead people when you're actually doing it versus do this. And the other thing, with all due respect, when I was 25, I could eat Big Macs, I could eat whatever I wanted and be in shape. So when I see these coaches that are in their 20s, even 30s, I said, that's awesome. But I'm 59 and I'm doing it. That is the difference, because so many people use age as, oh, I'm older this, older that. So it's leading by example. And whenever somebody challenges me, let's talk numbers. What's your body fat? What's your blood pressure? And I lose them right there, because sadly the world is so full of critical people. They're looking for holes. And is this the end all be all? No, I am not a medical expert. I don't claim to be. What I know is I feel great and I have a lot of energy, and my girlfriend wouldn't be with me if that wasn't the case. So it shows up everywhere. And I think leading by example is the number one reason where I can make a difference. And I don't like to think of it as advice. I look at it like I'm consulting and sharing, and it's up to the individual to take the nugget that works for them. I never tell people what to eat. I say, this is a list, pick little changes. It's really little things to create a lifestyle, because diets do not work. Human beings do not work well in diets. They learn by lifestyles.
Right. Got it. So after you meet with someone, after you start consulting them, when can someone expect to see and feel results? Is there a specific timeline for that?
I offer a 30-day challenge, okay, to lose 10 pounds in 30 days. Because one thing I know about human beings, you've got to see results. So in the first week, you're going to lose 2 pounds of fat, okay? Now, the first week's a little bit artificial. You may lose more because of water weight, but you're going to see it almost immediately, and the scale doesn't lie. And right now I'm coaching 6 or 7 people very intimately, very personally. I do a 15-minute Zoom once a week, and 100% get results. And here's really the difference. We all kind of know what to do, but we're not accountable to anybody. And we tend to surround ourselves with people that support whatever belief system we have. And that's what I do. I challenge belief systems. And so I do feel that making that difference goes a long, long way, and making it achievable and not too much. Like, we want to do long-term wins, because if it took you 10 years to gain 20 pounds, you're not going to lose 20 pounds in 30 days. You got to maybe take 6 months, but that's going to be a lifelong result, not something that comes and go quickly.
So
fast in, fast out.
Gotcha. Would you say that you cater more to people's individual needs based on their background?
That's a good question. I mean, really, it's pretty simple. I know it seems complicated, but to get health and fitness, you up your protein, you lower carbohydrates, and you find food that fit within your lifestyle. And then depending on how, I don't want to say aggressive, but how big your goal is, then you could talk about intermittent fasting, or we could talk about counting carbohydrates or going to the gym. I'll use an analogy. My brother was 40 pounds overweight. He did not want to go to the gym. He didn't want to do anything. He was using a non-dairy creamer in his coffee. We changed to chocolate protein powder, which he liked better in his coffee, and he lost 40 pounds.
Wow.
Now, that wasn't exercising. It wasn't eating anything else. It was one thing.
One change,
so it's really about finding a couple little things where, like, no, I actually like the chocolate protein better, and applying to people's lives. People think it's all about this sacrifice. No, you got to find things that work. And then at least once a week, you got to eat whatever you want. That's a whole nother topic, is what it does to your metabolism. And mentally, it's a reset that you're not sacrificing.
Interesting. All right. Well, I think that just about wraps up my questions.
Okay. Well, I really, really appreciate it.